So I just want to thank Eric Swanson and his team, East Coast Falcons, for being here and helping us out. We're about to launch a unique program. I want to make sure to answer all your questions in advance. Seagulls have been stealing food. Is nothing new, but over time they've been getting more aggressive. It's reached the point where we can't eat on the boardwalk or beach without birds flying at your hands or your face. It truly has become a safety hazard. We're also not doing the gulls any favors by feeding them pizza and French fries, so none of us should be eating that, I guess, but I shouldn't say that and make my own, sorry. It's not their natural diet. I know I should stay on text, but it doesn't help feeding them that way. And then when the winter comes, it all goes away. So the East Coast Falcon is also a solution that's both humane and effective. I guess that's one of the biggest points I want to say here is that when you listen to them speak, and we wouldn't do anything that would hurt anybody, so or the animals. So the newest members of the city team include falcons, hawks, and an owl. Eric is going to explain the program and answer your questions. And again, the administration and council, we remain committed to do whatever it takes to make sure the boardwalk and the beach experience in Ocean City is safe, family friendly, and enjoyable. It's important that every resident's business and guest in town. And again, that's the one thing is it's so important to quality of life. And one of the things that triggered it with me is I've been watching for over the last few years is how aggressive they have. I guess it was a few weeks back, I actually watched a bunch of seagulls dive bomb a child that was in a baby carriage and cut his face up. And that was really the final straw for me. So I know this has almost been a little bit of a joke with Ocean City with the seagulls and feeding them all that kind of stuff, but it's not. And they've become aggressive. So anytime I see, especially children, all that kind of stuff get attacked, we have to act and we have to do something. And I think we actually found a way that's going to work. And I don't really see too many seagulls around, so that's a good thing. So it's making us all look good. So with that, I want to introduce Eric Swanson, the owner of East Coast Falcons.
Good morning.
Morning.
All right, so we have a pretty simple program. Birds of prey. There he goes. Introduce yourself. Birds of prey scare every other bird. And there's a simple reason for that. The birds of prey eat other birds. The falcon is a bird specialist. The hawk usually stays towards birds and ground animals. The owl eats everything. We usually use the falcon during the day and the hawks during the afternoon. The owl is the night shift. The one reason that the gulls, you can see that they're not so happy just by the sight of them. What we'll do is we'll use the birds along the boardwalk. We'll fly them. Yeah, they're a little bad. We'll fly them along the boardwalk, and the idea is to reduce the birds without hurting them. So the birds during the summertime, we're flying them a little bit high, and what I mean by high, not that hungry. If they were hungry and in hunting condition, they would go and just catch the gulls and eat them. When they're a little bit high, they'll chase the birds, and their presence alone will scare the gulls off the boardwalk. Or at least that's our hope. but you can see the owl, we use him as a night shift. He's kind of really scary to the gulls. And it's also a Eurasian eagle owl, so he hunts during the day, or he's evolved to hunt during the day as well as the night. So being that the owls here are completely nocturnal, when we put them out during the day, it really kind of scares the gulls. Like, why is the owl here? He must be really, really hungry. So it's a natural program. It doesn't really hurt anything. Sometimes the falcons could catch something, and if they do, it's natural. It's the way things work. But does anybody have any questions about the program?
Is it science-based? Are you flying them?
What's that?
How high are you flying?
The hawk will usually stay on the ground. The owl stays on, or not on the ground, but on the buildings down low. The owl will kind of do the same thing. The falcon, that's kind of the workhorse of the team. This one goes anywhere from a few hundred foot to... Stop. They'll go anywhere from a few hundred foot to, I think her record flight, this year was 2,700 foot. And we know that just because of today's technology. We have GPS that tracks them. It's amazing. You look on your iPhone. Yeah. You look at your iPhone for everything. Yeah. Any other questions?
How far of a range will they impact with the seagulls along the boardwalk?
Well, the hawk, as they're working, and we kind of try to use them in like a hotspot, or what we call a hotspot, which is usually where the food vendors are and people are taking their food out and the gulls have learned to steal. The Falcon, when she goes up, if she hits 2,700 foot, she would do the whole island. Every bird underneath it would be in danger. And she clears them out really well. You know, and for good reason. If you're underneath her, if you're above her, you're safe. But if you're underneath her, she could come down and catch you. You know?
Excuse me. Excuse me. Thank you.
Never did this before. I believe this is the first beach on the East Coast to do this. I know that they've done it on a couple of other beaches on the West Coast where seagulls have become aggressive like this, but on the East Coast, this is the first one I've heard of.
So will you be here with all 3 birds every day? How's it going?
Yeah, so we're going to be here from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., 12 hours a day. We have 7 birds that'll be flying this year. So those 7 birds will cover the day. So it's not like there will be a bird up every day, but we also get what we call a refill. So when they chase the birds off, and if you look, there's no birds on the boardwalk right now. They're kind of not so happy about the birds. You know, but those birds will cover the whole day. What's up? I couldn't hear.
What type of falcon is it?
That's an interesting falcon. She's actually a cross. She's a hybrid, a cross between a gyr and a prairie falcon.
Wow.
Yes, we breed falcons in captivity now, so falconers do this. So the gyr, which is the largest falcon, when you cross her, and then with the prairie, which is a desert species, we get a large falcon that is not affected too badly by the heat.
What do they do with the osprey?
What's that?
What do they do with the osprey?
Indifferent. The two of them are indifferent of each other. What's back here?
How do you call them in at the end of their shifts? How does that work?
So what we do is use operant conditioning, and that's really the base of training almost everything. So we have a lure, which is an inanimate object, which is swung with an audio signal. There's a piece of meat on it. It's a simple way to get a meal. So for her to go out, and every predator knows that if I grab something and fight with it, I could get hurt, and if I get hurt, that's the end of me. So when you swing that, they know it's an easy meal. There's no fight. They come in and they'll come from miles. Yeah.
How long are the seagulls afraid? Like, as soon as the birds come in, will the seagulls come back? They go to other parts of the island? Can you say?
They move off. Haven't figured out where they go yet. Only been here 3 days. Yeah. So the refill, or how long they stay, it could be an hour. It could be 4 hours. It really depends on what kind of a flight it was. So if the hawk chases them really, really hard, yeah, they'll stay off a long time. If the hawk is just sitting there, we may get an hour.
All 3 of them will fly though.
What's that?
All 3 of these guys will work.
We actually have 7.
Including these 3 for sure.
What's that?
These 3 for sure will work.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Between 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. every day. How you doing?
Do they have names?
Yeah. This is Ozzy, Tilda, and this one is New Hawk, so he hasn't gotten a name yet.
Think of one?
What's that?
She needs to think of a name.
Yeah. Come up with a name for it. You name it.
Johnny.
You got a name?
That's correct.
No.
If this is a debut, that's OC.
OC.
Yeah, that's a good one.
What do you think?
That's
I think
a
you
good
just
one.
named a hawk.
There you go. That's a pretty.
Kind of owl.
It's a Eurasian eagle owl. So it's non-native to this country. It's a non-MBTA bird. It's also the largest species of owl in the world. And you can kind of
Look at those wings. Look at that. Whoa, look at those wings. Look at them.
you can see he's a pretty large guy. A little bit heavy too. About 6.5 pounds.
Wow.
We actually already have started.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and we've just been flying her. This one's about to fly. Ozzy's been flying at night.
Wow.
When we're on the boardwalk, you can see the results.
Thank you. That's so neat.
Well, I mean, if we're in an area where, we try to stay in areas where the gulls are looking for their food.
This question's from Mayor Gillian. How much is this program costing? And also, what sort of benchmarks are you looking to see if this program will be successful?
We're looking around about 2,100 a day, and it's island-wide. Whoa!
Look at it upside down.
See, he must not like me.
That's so
But yeah, so and the biggest thing is what we were talking before is it's tip to tip. We're not just worried about the boardwalk. When we're talking about where the seagull's going to go, we're thinking wildwood sail, but no, just kidding. I know the other mayors are going to call me, but no. Again, the humane way of doing this, and we're going to go to Labor Day. We're just it's all teaching. Again, when they talk about training the animals and all that kind of stuff, we've learned so much over the last couple of days. It's it's about culture. Where they're going to go, but what I've seen so far, and just the seagulls just disappearing as soon as they walk up, just makes me feel better. But I mean, it'll be on the beach too. So again, when they say they go up 2,000 feet or whatever, and they come down a couple 100 miles an hour or something like that, believe me, they're scaring everybody. So a couple of people, I'm going to grab them. So no. Is there any other questions? Again, they're going to be here for a while. Doug Bergen, our information officer, he's going to be our point person for the city. So if there's any question, you can call him down at City Hall. And again, I appreciate it. With anything new, in Ocean City, we always try to look out of the box, and that's one thing I think we've done here. And it's, again, I keep coming back to public safety and quality of life. And they're amazing birds, and we can learn a lot too. So we're trying to do this as education. This whole seagull thing, we've tried to educate people, we've tried to enforce it, but no matter what we do, it seems you just people have a way of doing things, and they're going to keep on doing it. But I think this way, with Eric and his team, great team. They've really escalated to get here, because it usually takes months and months to get this thing working for us. So I really appreciate all that they've done, and I don't like the way he's looking at me right now. So. All right, thank you for coming. And again, Doug Bergen's around anytime you want to talk to him. Thank you.